Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Underdog Garage. We are getting into part 2 of the Miata rust repair. I'm like conditioned to say rust repair just because I've been so traumatized by all the rust I've had to deal with. We are getting into part 2 of the convertible top replacement series on our 2003 Mazda MX5 Miata. In the last video, we just removed the convertible top and the frame from the car. In this part, we're going to be actually removing the top from the frame off the car. Should be pretty interesting. I feel like there's probably a few intricacies to it, and just drilling out a ton of rivets, just handling things delicately. So it should be an interesting process, and I'm excited to share it with you all. With all that said, let's go ahead and get into part 2 and remove our convertible top from the frame. With the soft top off the car, we can really see in the light just how mildewed it is, and it's definitely time for a replacement. First, we removed the soft top latches from the top frame.
This is the large, thick rubber molding that really acts to seal against the body of the car and the windows. And these come out in sections. The first one here is mounted on this top corner with 2 screws, and you can see it there, there's a metal plate that's embedded in the rubber.
Next, we removed the remaining gasket materials from each side of the convertible top. This revealed the metal gasket retainers that hold each gasket piece on each side. On the underside of the B-pillar gasket, there were 2 Christmas tree push pins holding it in place. Robert got underneath the gasket material and pried them loose. Then it was just repeating on the other side.
Christmas tree clip. See it there? And I can get under the second one too. Gently persuade that out.
Next, I marked the screw positions for the gasket retainers before removing them. These retainers have oval-shaped mounting holes. With the markings, I'm able to install them to the top frame exactly how they were placed initially. Once they're marked, we then remove the gasket retainers. Next, we removed the front retainer from the soft top frame. This holds the leading edge down of the soft top. Underneath where the B-pillar gasket sits, there was a set piece to hold the bottom of the convertible top fabric. A couple screws and they were removed on both sides. Now it was time to start drilling out rivets from the convertible top fabric. The first two were behind the B-pillar gasket. These drill out really quickly and allow the top fabric to separate from the frame. On the back side of the frame, near the mounting plates, there were two more rivets to drill out on each side of the top frame. With the rivets drilled out, we decided to flip the top over to get better access to the top cables and spring for removal. Using pliers, we carefully opened up the spring to separate it from the tension cable that sits on each side of the convertible top. Next, Robert drilled out the mounting rivet at the front of the cable and then wrapped the coiled end of the cable in masking tape so that it wouldn't get caught when sliding through the sleeve of the convertible top.
Ta-da!
The last step was to remove the fabric from the center bow retainer. We used a putty knife scraping tool to open the retainer. Once we got one end of the top fabric free, we pulled it out inch by inch to remove the convertible top. Finally, we had one last retainer screw on each side to remove, and at last the convertible top was free from the frame. All right, so our convertible top is now off the frame, and we've got the frame completely separated and ready for a deep clean and degreasing and just checking for rust, and if we need to eliminate any rust, we'll just grind it down, spray paint it, and it'll be good as new. There were a couple of tricky spots with this. I think one of the bigger challenges was getting the cable that runs along the sides of the top and that spring tensioner kind of undone, because it's just in a little tight space, and you just kind of have to, undo the springs a little bit with some pliers to get it to open up and then be able to remove. Honestly, I feel like that was the hardest part of the whole disassembly, and the same thing with maybe removing the fabric from the bow retainer. That was a little tricky too, but Robert seemed to handle it just fine, so it turned out to not be as bad as I thought it would. So we'll see how this thing progresses, and we'll see what happens. But that's it for this episode. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment below if you got it. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes on this series and other projects we've got going on at Underdog Garage. So thanks again so much for watching, folks. Have fun, and we will see you next time.